Well, thank you very much for being here. I'm going to say a few quick words, and then we'll get into some questions. I want to thank our staff for their tireless work, their wives, for allowing them to be away from their families so much, but they finally get to see the fruits of your labor and amount of work that was done to put together this 2020 class, which is the best class in 24/7 sports history for the Golden Gophers. So we're very excited about that. Just a few key characteristics. Before I get to that, I want to thank Garrett Chernoff, our general manager, Marcus Hendrickson, John Shakel, Coco, for all of the people that are involved in all of our recruiting. It means so much, the work they do behind the scenes. It's special. We have elite people that really care about this institution, who give up a lot for this institution, and to get it back to what we said we can get it back to, and building that bridge. So a few just statistics that a lot of people like statistics, so I'll start with a few of those, and then we'll move on. But it's the highest rated class ever in the history of University of Minnesota by 24 Sports rankings. Strongest 3-year class in Gopher football history, and if you want to win championships, you need to be able to put consecutive classes together. We talk about having 3 of them, and that's what we were able to do. They're four four-star recruits, but again, we won 10 games, and we had 5 4-star recruits on our entire football team. All right, so I'm necessarily not into that. We're about a developmental program that's going to take these 2 3-star kids and 4-star kids and make them 5-star players, 5-star people, and continue to get them to where they want to be, not only on the football field, but in their endeavors in life as well. First time ever having ESPN 300 signees in 3 consecutive years, which is really important when you're talking about where is our brand going, not just in the state of Minnesota, but our brand nationally and then internationally. I think we're continue to expand internationally as we go forward. The class combined has 6 state championships. And when you start talking about winning championships, you want to recruit championship people. And those guys know how to win championships. There's a lot of semifinalists, a lot of playoff contenders, and you have a lot of records being broken by a lot of these guys. So they know what it's like to be at an elite level and perform at a high level. We have 8 members starting early that'll be here with us in a few weeks. And then 23 of the 24 student athletes are multi-sport athletes, 23 of the 24. So I think that's really important. We said that's what we wanted to do with the day we walked in here. We always promote more sports for everybody, and we were able to accomplish that. So we had players from 4 different countries. This is an international recruiting zone now. That'll be nice to see the audit with our trips to different countries. We'll forget about Richard Pitino's gas tank, and now we're going to focus on why are we taking trips to Munich, and why are we taking trips to Sydney, Australia, and Melbourne, and going out that way. I'm kidding, but I'm somewhat being serious as well. It's a fun day to have a little bit of fun as well. So with that, I'm really, really proud of this class. It's a strong class. We love where we are. These kids want and need to be here, and that's what's fun about it. It's the right fit for these young men. No matter if they're in-state, out-of-state, they fit us, and that's all that I care about. Whether it's in-state, out-of-state, rankings, doesn't matter. Is it the right fit? And if it's not, we don't care where you're from. It's got to be the right fit.
When you look at Tavion Brown, when you were going to recruit Lutheran North and Devion Harris, how soon did you kind of see Tavion, and what kind of player are you getting in him?
Yeah, well, you watched him as you watched practices. You got a chance to see him, and we knew that he was going to be an absolute stud, right? I mean, this kid is long, strong, can run. He looks like Kamal Martin almost now. A little thinner, but looks like a Kamal Martin. Never came off the field in his games, right? I mean, this kid's on kickoff. I mean, never came off, Andy. He didn't come off for anything. Field goal unit, he never came off. Field goal block, he didn't come off the field one time. The water was brought to him. And that's what I saw. Wow. Offense, defense, special teams, never took a break. And you would never be able to tell. He never tapped himself out, never said, I need to come out. That's just what he does. He's a tremendous athlete, really good football player. Coach Reed does a great job down there, truly pours into all the student athletes that he has, and we're excited to have him.
How different was recruiting this year versus last year, going into homes with a team that was undefeated most of the season, game day talks, all of that? How different was it?
Yeah, that's a great question. I've got that a lot. It didn't do much. We had 16 commits in June in 1 month. We had 95% of our players were committed already. What it did, though, when you win 10 games and those players come out to college game day, you're able to get a Doug Emelian at the very end, right? That wasn't committed. You're able to hold on to Miles Fleming when a blue blood comes after him hard. You're able to hold on to him. And when his dad's a huge fan of that blue blood, and his grandfather who passed was a huge fan of that blue blood, and you walk into his house and it's all different colors but yours. And it allows you to hang on to those kids. But we had the majority of them already committed. You know, we're not going to let a win define who we recruit. We're never going to go down that path in terms of, well, we're at a different status now. We are who we are. We won 10 games with 5 4-star recruits, right? And we were that close from going to Indianapolis and the Rose Bowl with 5 4-star recruits. So I'm not saying you don't turn them down, but we don't look at all that. We look at who's the right fit for us, who can come in and help academically, athletically, socially, and spiritually, their lives to continue to grow. And this, we feel, is the strongest class we have. But the wins help you hang on at the very end. Or a kid like Ja Joyner, you're able to be in the game with him and find a way to finish. Jalen Logan Redding, that kid as well, who was committed to the University of Missouri from Columbia, and he lives in Columbia. To get him to come here, that helps a little bit. When you're kind of talking through things, the brand gives you a little more credibility when you're sitting in that living room of people that you don't know very well.
When you had so many of these guys committed in June, how have you noticed, I guess, their bond kind of grow from that? Because they've known each other for 6 months now.
Well, I mean, in June, we're on Lake Minnetonka. You know, we have a wonderful lake house out there, and Heather did a great job of redoing it, and it's awesome. And it's strictly designed for having lots of people there, right? I mean, there's 126 steps down from our dock up to our room. It's a lot of walking, a lot of levels, a lot of people. Well, we were all on a boat one day, our new boat, and it broke. And I mean broke, smoking, and I've only driven this boat 3 times, and I have no idea. We've got, 10 people on the boat that probably haven't been on a boat before. And we're floating in Lake Minnetonka, and I'm sure there's nothing wrong. Nothing wrong. As I'm sitting there, emojiing Heather, like SOS, help, send help. Here come our fishing boat, here comes the jet skis, to do this rescue mission. Now, we weren't going to sink, but we were getting closer to shore. When you have a recruiting visit like that, and those 10 are on the boat together, you bond really quickly. And you know what people are like through adversity. And there's 20 stories like that. I'm not saying on the boat. I'm a very safe captain. I want to make sure everybody's aware of that. All life jackets were accounted for. We weren't going down. It was just a little starter problem. And I'm a little aggressive on the throttle at times, and I kind of ruined it a little bit, but that's okay. My point, though, is you had a time to bond, and every one of those kids on that boat committed. It's amazing. I joke all the time. I say, well, you either commit or we just keep drifting to shore. To see that fishing boat over there, that's the one that's going to help you. You in or out? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I want to make sure I say that. But my point is, you get everybody together, and you constantly connect them, whether it's picnics or during the spring or during the summer, and you get these parents to really connect. And by the time they get to this point, we have everybody over at our house on Saturday night, and Heather and I really don't do a lot of entertaining. We just do a lot of talking because everybody just goes off in their own groups, and they all talk to each other, are organizing tailgates. They've already been to our games tailgating at times. It's so fun to watch these families get together.
Did you have any oars on that boat, or will you?
Oh, we did. Oh, absolutely. That's state law. Yep, we had plenty of oars. There's a lot of oars on that. It's just a little harder to row the bigger boat, right? And if I'm the only one doing that, but we had everybody in there, and everybody believed, and thank goodness for Matt Childers and Bradley Parker and coming out of the fishing boat and the jet skis, and it was an experience. And the great thing is there was a mom that was the last one on there because everybody left, and then I was the captain. I was going down with the ship, and but there was only enough to be able to fit, and then it was just her and I. And we must have had the greatest 25 to 30-minute conversation. That seemed like 9 hours as we drifted closer to rocks. And I said, no matter what happens, this is going to be good, And anyway, but he committed too. And but we had a great talk. And she even told me, she goes, Coach Fleck, and I won't tell you who it is. She goes, Coach Fleck. Or she called me Fleck, not Coach Fleck, just Fleck. You know what? I like how you handled this. I'm saying, you haven't seen how it ended yet, And but it was a lot of fun, and we had a great talk, and we still talk about it to this day.
We'll take 1 or 2 more before we head upstairs. PJ, I know it's you're not going to get every in-state recruit, but how important is it to get the ones that you did get?
Oh, it's incredibly important. Remember, we want people who really want to be here. If they don't want to be here, I don't care what state they're from. That doesn't fit with us, right? We're not for everybody, and I get that. And it's not about just keeping somebody in state. or taking somebody from a different state. It's all about who fits our culture. Because when you have somebody that doesn't fit, it never works anyway, right? And that's why the transfer and the portal system's through the roof right now. So we want to take the right people who really want to be here, who've dreamed of being here, right? Not say, well, I always have that. That's not how I want people to think in our state anymore. I want people to think like, I need that, I want that, I'm waiting for that one offer. And when you get it, you go. And it's going to take a lot of time. It's going to take time to get that. But that's what we're hopefully moving towards.
Last year we were here and you had 21 recruits and you wanted to keep some open for later on in the cycle. Now we have 24. What kind of went into the process to fill it up more than last year?
Well, we felt like we had an unbelievable class. That we felt like we got some guys towards the end that we were like, wow, we really got to get these guys. And you kind of evaluate everybody. It comes down to it when you have a lot of data, whether it's the academics part or whether it's a character part, and you're evaluating everything all the way to the end. And you take a big class because you feel really good about where you're at. You feel really good about the depth of your team. You feel really good about maybe you don't have to take those 2 or 3 transfers or a portal or anything like that. You feel really good where you're at. And then you just sign the guys you feel like really want to be there. And we have. And, we're not done yet. We're very, very close to being done, right? We're not done yet. And I don't know when that'll happen. Could happen soon, could happen in a month, could happen in 2 months, could happen all the way in the summer. But we've got a spot left. We're going to kind of look at who's ready for that spot, and then we'll kind of go from there.
All right, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Coach.
Appreciate it. Row the boat, Sky Go Gophers. We'll see you all at the non-scrum. This is called the scrum? A formal scrum. Okay, all right. But it's not a presser. This technically wouldn't be a press.
Down chairs, so it's probably a press conference. If we have chairs, it'd be more of a scrum.
A scrum's after practice?
Let's go with formal.
Look, I'm just, you're learning our row the boat culture. I'm learning your culture.